Hello everyone, this is Dr. Karthik Kapoor and I have completed my MBBS from BJ Medical College, Pune. The purpose of this podcast series is to guide my juniors, to guide you all about the MBBS curriculum, what books to study, how to prepare for PG, and various challenges that you may face during these 5.5 years. And most importantly, I will also be sharing my own experiences and the mistakes that I have committed so far so that you don't repeat them and learn from them today. Today's podcast is about how to study anatomy during first year MBBS after entering a medical college. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all budding doctors for entering into this beautiful field of medicine. Yes, I know that the NEET UG examinations are tough. I've myself been through that phase, but you have finally been rewarded with the fruit of your hard work, right? And I can really assure you that these 5.5 years are going to be the best years of your life. Having said that, I also want you to know that the subjects of your MBBS curriculum are going to be equally or even more challenging than physics, chemistry, and biology combined together. So, in the first year, you basically have three subjects, that is, anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. These subjects are your basic sciences, and it's very important to get a good hold on these subjects because these form the base of your MBBS. Just do not think about the weightage of these subjects now in the NEET PG examination or the next examination. You need to study these first year subjects wholeheartedly. It is often said that like अगर आप फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड ईयर के सब्जेक्ट अच्छे से पढ़ लो तो आप आधे डॉक्टर तो वहीं पे बन जाते हो. So today's podcast is regarding how to go about with anatomy as a subject, and we will also go step by step to understand the various anatomy books available, the study methods, and a proper approach that will help you for your university as well as the postgraduate entrance examinations. First of all, you have a major chunk of anatomy, that is the gross anatomy of your body. It deals with all the nerves, blood vessels, muscles, organs of your body, and its relations with each other. Like, for example, this is a very basic example. Whenever you take a tetanus shot or any other intramuscular vaccine into your arm in the deltoid muscle, the vaccine application has to be done very carefully because there is a nerve passing nearby it, that is the axillary nerve, and the nerve damage can lead to various complications. So to anticipate complications during procedures, during surgeries, and even to examine the patients, you need to know the human anatomy very well. The first thing that you will learn in anatomy is general anatomy, and the general anatomy book by Dr. B.D. Chaurasia is sufficient for that. This is the same that you learn in standard 12, but it's in a bit more detail. Introduction to type of bones, joints, muscles are very well covered in this, and its details are dealt in gross anatomy book by B.D. Chaurasia. So there are these terms like anterior, posterior, medial, lateral, flexion, extension, adduction, abduction. Oh, very confusing. You will go to through these terms throughout your MBBS curriculum, and you will be using these terms throughout your life to describe relations of various structures in the body in whichever branch you specialize in. Like, we know that our heart lies in the thorax and we have a sternum bone in front of it, right? So the technically and medically correct statement to say would be the sternum bone, which forms a part of the thoracic cage, lies anteriorly to the heart. So this is just a basic statement, and this is how you need to answer in your vivas too. The examiners just hand over an organ to you and ask you to describe it and its relations. So the General Anatomy by B.D. Chaurasia is a good book for that. Now, coming to the actual major chunk of anatomy of your body, it has been divided into various units like superior extremity, that is your upper limb, the inferior extremity, thorax, abdomen, pelvis, head, neck, face, and neuroanatomy. For every unit, you will have a cadaveric dissection in the dissection hall. You will have separate bone demonstrations and the typical classroom PPT lectures that you see every day. Generally, there are around 8 to 10 students for one cadaver, and to be very frank, half of them are not even interested to dissect. So it's a good chance for you to dissect the cadaver by yourself, as it helps to create an image memory of various structures that you see. See, the proper approach is to read about it one day beforehand, then do the dissection, and then read about it again from your standard textbook, that is B.D. Chaurasia. Few students also prefer reading Grey's Anatomy for that, but I personally feel that it's too lengthy and BD Chaurasia helps better to answer exam questions too. And yes, it is very important to supplement whatever you learn with Netter's Atlas. Netter's Atlas is a must for every student. It has these colorful diagrams with minute details and labeling. And then comes the osteology part, that is the study of your bones. You need to have your own bone set for that, and you can also share it with your friends. For upper limb, you'll start with clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius ulna, and then the hand bones, the carpals, the metacarpals, and the phalanges. For each bone, remember this, for each bone, you need to know about which muscle is attached to which surface of the bone. Is it an origin or an insertion of the muscle? Everything is covered in detail in your BT Chaurasia, which comes in 4 volumes. And please do not hesitate to ask doubts to your professors. Whatever you learn now will be the base for your journey ahead, so you cannot compromise in these subjects. Okay, the same pattern is followed with other units too, that is your lower limb, abdomen, pelvis, head, neck, and neuroanatomy. You can also use Cunningham's anatomy dissection book, even that has got excellent diagrams. And you can use this book during your dissection itself. It will definitely help to boost up your preparation several fold. The other subparts of anatomy are embryology, histology, and genetics. You get around 1 to 2 questions from each unit in your final examinations, but for entrance point of view, each and everything is important. There is a common trend that I have seen in medical colleges that people tend to read only the selected topics that were asked in previous year examinations. No, definitely not. This is not the right approach. See, whenever patient presents to you, he won't say that I have symptoms from 6th edition of BD Chaurasia, chapter number 9, topic 12, right? So this is not a proper way to study. It's very important to study the whole subject properly and connect topics, correlate topics with each other. For entrance point of view, you can have a more specific approach, but that has to be done later on, not during your first year. Then coming to embryology, IB Singh I think is a good book with many diagrammatic illustrations as well. Even for histology, you have IB Singh. See, for histology, you will study about the microscopic details of various organs, and you will have a separate journal to draw all these histodiagrams. So do not just draw the diagrams for the sake of your journal completion, okay? Give some time to it. I would recommend you to use the Stedler's hematoxylin and eosin pencils for it for better diagrams. See, what happens is generally one day before the exams, everyone starts the search operation for good diagrams from seniors, from Google, from other books and other sources. So when you make your own diagrams yourself, you don't need to worry about your exams, and this will also help you in your second year pathology, which deals with abnormal histology that you see in various diseases. For that, obviously, you need to know the normal stuff first. So do your histology very well. What I did during my histology practicals was I used to use this app Snapchat, and I used to click the microscopic images with the Snapchat and label it then and there itself. So this is a good tool that you can use. You'll seriously thank me for this later on. And coming to neuroanatomy, it is a slightly complicated unit. It gets covered in BD Chaurasia, but it's better explained in Vishram Singh Neuroanatomy, and that is an exclusive book only for neuroanatomy. For genetics, well, I won't recommend you to read a separate book for that. You will get a list of topics that are important at your level, like Down syndrome, Klinefelter's, Turner syndrome, DiGeorge syndrome, etc. So just ask your respective seniors for that. Anatomy as a whole is a subject where you need more of visualization. Even surgeons read anatomy books before their procedures. Did you know that? So you can imagine how important it is to know the subject very well. You can also refer some excellent YouTube channels like Dr. Najib's videos, Ackland's cadaveric video discussions. Even I watch these videos for some of the units. You can even watch my YouTube videos. The channel is under its developmental phase now. I've given the link in the description box. So study well. If you need any study material, images of any kind, or if you have got any queries, you can always email me at kartik.biology2@gmail.com. That is kartik.biology2@gmail.com. Thank you very much, and all the very best to each and every one of you.